So, ladies and gents, I am here joined by the legendary Shuki, first of his kind Mongol Tower Rush professional, who is going to cast with me Order of the Dent versus Abbasid. Now, these Chads are the chattiest of all the Chads in the land, and they have made it here despite their civilization. I feel like PuppyPaw, he probably has a little bit of a better civilization pick for this one. But ladies and gents, let's roll on in and see what the boys are up to.
Yeah, indeed. OTD Abbasid. I would guess, OTD feels a bit more in the meta right now than Abbasid. But I guess if we've learned one thing in this tournament is that execution and skill matters more than Civ balance. So let's see what Beastie and Puppy have in store.
See, I think we're at a point now where we get to ask ourselves, like, hey, what makes a Civ, or what makes a Civ busted? Is it the player? So if we see someone at the top picking a civilization consistently and they do well, is it just them able to execute them perfectly? Or is it actually the civilization that is in a little bit of a problematic phase? And I think a lot of people, they had favorites. We had people like Kiljardi, who 100% had a lot of people convinced that he would actually go quite far. But we also see that most of the people just outperformed, even against their outmatched opponents. They just needed to be a lot better in a lot of the plays. And honestly, amazing performance by most of these people. So Beastie on Abbasid, I must be honest, neither him nor I thought that he was going to make it this far.
Yeah, indeed. I guess. I mean, seeing Beastie in the final is not that surprising, but definitely Abbasid right now kind of feels like it was one of the Civ that no one wanted to play. And I mean, obviously he had it last, so it was kind of it's kind of the same when you're at school and you're playing football and they're picking teams and you're the last guy being picked. But he's here. He's in the final as kind of as usual.
Now, Beastie in the final is been a story in our last tournament. And PuppyPaw as well. I think PuppyPaw made, like with Wololo, I think that was his first major S tier appearance that we saw him in the finals too. So PuppyPaw, no one to be scoffed at here. But on Order of the Dragon, I feel like PuppyPaw knows what he needs to cook. We got a little bit of an eco wing here from Beastie. I don't think he's ever played a civilization where he got to go eco wing without getting punished. And it looks like PuppyPaw is looking to punish with professional scouts.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we saw in the last series PuppyPaw doing a lot of 2TC play. It kind of seemed like that was his answer to the English aggression. And yeah, I guess, going 2TC against Abbasid has historically not really been a good idea. So yeah, here it seems like he's going to go with the more standard pro scout, and then let's see if he follows it with a quick castle or if he's gonna go aggression and try and kill Beastie right away.
I feel like with the pro scout meta currently, there's just so many choices though. PuppyPaw is definitely not a man who conforms to the meta as we saw recently. This man, he has adapted, but with the Gilded Horseman coming out, he's gonna force his opponent to have to react. And I think that's what PuppyPaw is so good at. He's been so consistent at making sure that his opponents need to make units and can't just sit back and relax.
Yeah, definitely. And I think for Beastie here, it's going to be all about trying to, deny that pro scout as best as he can. But obviously, when you start 2TC, you're gonna be a bit on the back foot for the first 5 minutes of the game or so.
Shuki?
And
I need
yes?
you to take a moment at what's happening in Beastie's base. You said something about going to TC.
Oh no.
Something.
He's gonna go 3TC, I guess. He's gonna go 3TC, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the man has decided that was the play. And I guess if you're Puppy, I mean, the good thing is this is most likely going to be a quick game one way or another. Puppy just either has to kill him right now or he's dead, pretty much. And I guess, yeah, this is definitely going to force Puppy to make a move. And we saw Beastie looked like he was maybe contemplating going on the deer there. But Puppy already has a horseman there, so no deer for you.
And it does secure his gold a little bit, but definitely most people would want to secure a little bit of the deer here, because a lot of the professional scouting denial is about just shutting down at least one pack and then hoping for the best. But now, 3TC Abbasid, not necessarily something we see every day anymore. We don't see Abbasid every day anymore, so let's start there first. But forcing him to get the barracks, definitely something I think that slows Beastie down and makes him go punished, not just unpunished, as we were saying before. So now, these horsemen, though, they are quite chunky, and they might get a villager, and the rest of them should make it out alive. But the problem is now, can PuppyPaw make enough units to actually end him? And I don't even think he needs to. He also doesn't think so. It seems like with the amount of villagers he has in gold here, this looks to be a responsible castle that he's going for.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there was another option that I had kind of forgot about, but OTD also has access to the Swabia, so maybe PuppyPaw is going to decide that he's just gonna go castle, grab all the relics, and then go quick Imperial, and in this case, the game wouldn't be so short.
So we could get a nice Imperial game. That's what you're saying. Oh, we love that. We love a good Imperial game, right, guys? So, yeah, guys, we will get a Gamba. And Pilsen, thank you very much for the raid earlier. I am aware that we were a little bit MIA as we had to take a short break. But now, Beastie is not getting that gold for free. And it looks like PuppyPaw has his eyes set on going a little bit deeper. But now he has a few spearmen. Spearmen just don't do that well against Order of the Dragon Archers.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think I'm not exactly sure. I mean, I feel like for Beastie, you're kind of gonna have to stay in feudal for a bit there after going to 3TC. But considering the amount of guys he had on gold, maybe he was potentially contemplating going castle, but we'll see. Does he have a lot of wood on wood, or?
Yes, he does, and I'll
Yeah,
switch
he has
over
a
to
lot
that
of
UI
wood,
in a
so that-
second.
Looks like for now he's going. I mean, he has to answer those archers first before he can think about anything else, right?
The problem is for them as well is he needs to go out on the map for resources. You can see he's even going for the berries now. He can do his farm transition, but obviously not optimal when you know that your opponent is rushing castle, which is happening as we are speaking. So, Shuki, as someone who doesn't like being castle rushed, how do you feel Beastie can do against a castle, though, on Abbasid? Do they have an answer for this?
Well, I mean, I would imagine Puppy's play is going to be to just make a lot of men-at-arms right now, right? Considering Beastie should be stuck in feudal for quite a bit longer, men-at-arms should be a pretty good play. And historically, Abbasid is a pretty good answer, right? They can go camel archers, which have pretty good base damage, so they can actually deal with the men-at-arms even when you're still in feudal. But it's still really hard to hold because those OTD men-at-arms are so chunky.
And the Order of the Dragon Men-at-Arms make the game pretty difficult for any player here, and that's exactly why he's going for this. We can see with him going for that, and also getting Military Academy, not an upgrade we saw at all from PuppyPaw in the earlier games.
It's definitely really good with Burger, right? Because it makes Burgrave work that much faster. So I think when you go Burgrave, it's one of the very good upgrades you should go for.
The one thing that we see here from Beastie now, I was going to say Beastie is going for that age up, but also at the same time, he's even getting specialized pick upgrade behind all of this. It feels like Beastie wants to go castle, but at the same time, he's making units. He's making as many units as he can afford because he knows he needs to go responsible castle. This is not a situation where he can just sit back, relax, and let Puppy do the driving, because Puppy, he's driving, and the way he's aiming, it looks pretty tough for Beastie here. Now, if he can start picking these off one by one, this is best case scenario for him. And that's probably going to be the case if PuppyPaw tries to rally them into the base like this. PuppyPaw also lost quite a few units already. Because Beasty is being quite aggressive here, but he needs to be really, really careful. Every single time this happens, he is losing a lot more resources than Beasty is. But keep in mind with the burger, guys, these are a lot cheaper than we usually see them.
Yeah, definitely for Beastie, this would be best case scenario, being able to deal with the meta rounds one by one, right? Because the problem is that when they reach that critical mass and they can just chill under your TC and your entire eco is idle, and you can't kill them. So for now, Beastie is looking pretty good, and he will be. It looks like he's gonna be clicking for castle pretty fast, considering how much gold he has and how much food he has.
It feels like we said that before, but he just decided to make more units. And honestly, it was definitely the right choice here. Getting that amount of units slowed this down, and now with these horses, he's delaying the men-at-arms from coming into his base even faster. He's got the archery ranges up, he's getting his farms now, and now we'll see our military wing come up. And this is going to give him 2 camel riders to handle those horses that might be coming his way. And as I say might, Gilded Knight gets clicked.
Yeah, so right now is going to be the very, very critical timing for PuppyPaw to hit. Can he actually get inside this eco with a critical mass and just idle the entire eco of Beastie? Or is Beastie still going to be able to kill these units one by one? This is definitely the time that PuppyPaw has to make something happen, or else that game is going to be over, considering Beastie is already doubled the villages of Puppy. Now, these are gilded villagers, so they're worth more, but not double.
Not double, exactly. So with PuppyPaw, he's got this huge military lead, but he's got the camel archers on his side. And I'm going to keybind these bad boys. Let's keybind them and see what their journey is going to be.
Keybinding pros today.
Yeah, no, today we are going to be hopping around the map as necessary to try and see what these boys are going to be doing. And this is exactly what PuppyPaw is doing. He's splitting his army up. And this is going to mean that Beastie has the opportunity to pick off a few of these units. It might not go his way, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that this is going to be great and easy for Beastie, but this is the opportunity that Beastie needs to be able to pick off a few of these units. And now you can see another knight coming from the front here. And even though it's very chunky and very scary, that is very expensive to lose, because that is not coming from the burger.
That knight got destroyed. That knight was not long for this world.
He quickly vanished into thin air here, but just like these villagers will at this point, Beastie, luckily, he has his wheelbarrow, so these guys will run for their lives. But now, this is a split army again, and he's going to be able to catch some of these out. The camels now, everything getting pulled to go to the back line and try to deal with these guys. You can see Beastie is committing to this. He feels like this should be the right spot here. We've got the spearmen here, not really sure what they're going to be doing with their lives today, but the spearmen surrounding here at the back, they're keeping the men-at-arms at bay while the camels are trying to destroy them. And they're doing a pretty good job at that.
Yeah, definitely, and Beastie is earning a lot of time there to be able to start making crossbows and units that can actually deal a bit more effectively with what Puppy is doing. But that military lead, it's still looking very, very, very scary for PuppyPaw, and I'm not exactly sure if Beastie is gonna be able to hold this.
Now that military lead, it looks pretty scary. You're right, but keep in mind they are archers. So if Beastie does make hard counters to these, they could be okay, and it does look to be the case. He does trend towards the Lancers, and we see a lot of farms coming up at the back. So, I don't know about this, Chief. This is looking a little bit scary, but the +1 coming in now. He's going to try to let these camels do the work, but this is so, so scary. And Beastie is holding on, but he needs to hold on a little bit longer. It doesn't feel like this is going to be an easy hold whatsoever.
Yeah, that military number actually just keep climbing for Puppy, even though he seems to be losing units here and there. But that military number just keep climbing, and now he's in the eco. So this is really what we talked about, that moment where can Puppy get that critical mass and just sit inside the base and idle everything so that Beastie is just stuck.
And it seems to be the case, because now these farms are going to be idle. Beastie just invested so many resources into this, and he's not getting the food income he needs. We can switch now back to the food per minute, and we can see that these villagers, them idling, this is just going to plummet down so quickly.
Yeah, and there's so many units coming to the front again. I am not too confident that Beasty is gonna be able to do this, not gonna lie. He is known to be a really, really good defensive player, but this looks like a very, very, very difficult hold.
Yeah, when you start seeing prelates in your base, that's when you know he's not worried at all. He's sending 1 man-at-arm to deal with these 15 villagers. And that's apparently how you deal with a 3 TC Abbasid. You just idle all of the economy. And he is doing an immaculate job at that. The villagers inside the TCs now just firing away. The units are trading pretty well, but these archers are so annoying to handle. The crossbows are getting targeted down. Another group of archers right behind them, trying to take them down as well, and they will make work.
Yeah, and even the OTD archers have that special upgrade that gives them +3 defense, and Beastie just give up.
Honestly,
That felt
honorable.
3TC felt a bit too greedy. It feels like it just shouldn't work, but again, Beastie knows better.
The thing is, I don't think he expected this huge mass coming from PuppyPaw either, but definitely 3TC proved to be a little bit greedy in this matchup, but we'll see if he can carry it back to the next one. In the meantime, we do have Gigi Dog poking her snoot here. Hey, Gigi Dog, come here. Dog does have a question
Gigi
about...
Dog hiding?
Yeah, she does. She's asking about her dad and his performance, and Gigi Dog, I don't have the best news, actually.
Don't tell her. Just don't tell her. She doesn't need to know.
She doesn't need to know. It feels like she deserves to know. So, Dad?
No,
I'm
she's
really
too
sorry.
young.
Your dad, he made 3 TC. I'm sorry. He made 3 TC, and he made a few camel archers.
just asked for it.
Want to know?
He just asked for it.
It's okay. He's gonna try again next time, and he's not gonna go for. Because we are on a different map, Dotter. You see, the next map is going to be a definite not 3 TC map. Because, ladies and gents, we're heading over to 4 base. We are getting a little bit of Abbot Chads on the water.
Well, you know what? I definitely think he's not gonna go 3 TC this time.
So he has a chance, that's what you're saying.
Well, but, you know, Four Lakes is kind of like one of the classic maps of AoE at this point, right? We've had it for like quite a long time. And back in the days, before, even I think it was before the DLC, back in the days, I say that was 20 years ago. But Abbasid was one of the Civ that people liked playing here. I think he was Abbasid, English, and Chinese. I think, if I remember correctly, were the Civ that people liked playing here. And yeah, so they were usually considered quite good because of the cheaper docks and I think it was the Culture Wing play at the time that people were doing. So I guess it's probably not too bad for Beastie here. But Order of the Dragon is one of the newer civs that people have enjoyed playing on those hybrid maps quite a lot. And I would imagine right now this matchup to be probably OTD favored. Because I haven't seen many pros playing Abbasid on this map in a long time.
And keep in mind, Beastie did choose this map as he lost the last game. So if Beastie goes down, it's by his own will. Now, I would love to see what this will mean for Beastie. If he is going to be able to do something about the usual Order of the Dragon prowess on water maps, or I guess this is water in this case. So, Puppy on one lake right now, Beastie on one lake right now. Another question is going to be, what are we going to see about the docks? So we get the chapel, as we do usually with Order of the Dragon, and they are, oh, we can see the deer pushing pretty nice here for PuppyPaw as well. He's still got 3 on goal. So this does leave it open to interpretation. You still have the ability to decide to go fast castle if it doesn't go your way. But Beastie is the greedy, aggressive goose trying to make plays happen here. Now,
Yeah,
I don't know.
This is really good.
I don't know if Mr. PuppyPaw is going to be attempting anything in the same, because instead of going for that, he's going for land aggression, which honestly works just as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he scouted it and if he decided because actually I was gonna say Beastie is probably gonna go military wing, but no, he's going culture wing, which is the old school Abbasid play. So there's not gonna be those quick units coming out and that quick ram. So that makes me think that Puppy has not really seen that duck.
PuppyPaw probably hasn't, because now Beastie is also going to be able to react to this. He did scout it as well. And PuppyPaw not getting any ships here just looks like he's doubling down. He does get a ship now. He queues up the galley.
Okay.
But usually galley against galley, it's an interesting one because Beastie's galley is just going to arrive a little bit earlier. Now Beastie needs to respond to this man-at-arm pretty quickly, and he does this by making a tower instead of a production building. Very interesting choice here, because usually when you're facing against Order of the Dragon, you know that those men-at-arms are going to ignore most things that shoot at them. And he's going for stone. Oh, never mind. I almost got excited there. I was like, oh my god, it's going for a second
Let's
piece.
go, 3TC. No, I don't think he's gonna do. I don't think that's gonna be the play here. But yeah, this is still pretty good, and it looks like he's gonna even get that second duck up, which is on this map. Usually, when you duck your opponent's pawn, going 2 ducks out is pretty good because your opponent can easily make a second duck, and then it's really hard to hold the production when your opponent can build like 2 ships at the same time and you can only build 1. So getting 2 ducks out is usually seen as the way to go, and BC manages to do it. So now Puppy is kind of in a precarious situation because he cannot afford to lose this bond, or he's gonna be very, very far behind.
But it doesn't feel like he's over-committing to the pond either. He's still making men-at-arms, now making another ship. Oh, the explosive ship is going to wreak havoc. He might lose this as well. He needs to be so, so careful. He's trying to let the healing from the dock do its work, but this is not going to be enough. This is going to go down, and the dock will... and the pond will go back to Puppy, but Puppy now has invested a lot into this dock, into this lake, and keeping it alive. And there might be more even.
Yeah, definitely. And Puppy's still looking to get rid of these ducks. I mean, he's gonna need to, right? I'm guessing Beastie was heading on... He didn't go on stone again, or did he?
He did. He got his emplacement pretty quickly. And now he's gonna go...
for the tower. Okay.
The question is this now gonna be a Castle Age that we're gonna be seeing here from Beastie? And I think so. I think this is the choice here, because when you go for Castle Age here, it's just... You're putting yourself into such a good position economically because you are just going to make more cost-effective units.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, it's usually how the pros tend to play this map, like a bit of aggression in feudal, try to be annoying and slow your opponent down, but going castle behind it. But yeah, good reaction from Puppy, and indeed, it looks like that duck drop is not gonna work out for BC, and I think Puppy is feeling pretty good right now, even though I don't think anyone has taken a decisive lead or anything. And both of the players are ducking the second pawn now, so both of them looking to expand their economy even more.
The funny thing for me in this case is the fact that we're seeing now that Beastie has not made any more units. He's just like, I'm getting upgrades actually. I'm not gonna rush anywhere. Just gonna be getting my pond. My pond's gonna be fine. And this is going to be the hard part, because now we have a man-at-arm running at us, and there's 4 more of them. It's not going to be an easy thing for him to deal with. So I think Beastie right now, going for the double dock here, also being quite a greedy play, because this can cost him the whole game, just by being a little bit of a greedy goose. He does now go for the Camel Archer, because Camel Archers do quite well against the men-at-arms, but we'll see if he gets more than 1 as well.
Yeah, definitely. And we see Puppy already dropping archers, so trying to counter the camel archers already. It looks like Puppy is really in no hurry to go castle, and Beastie reinvesting even more, so Beastie is not going to castle just yet either.
So now with the men-at-arms, he has to be careful with these camels. And guys, I'm aware the score is reversed. Our admin is currently going through power outages. He's not able to reverse it right now. But you guys, PuppyPaw is 1-0 in the lead, just so everyone knows.
I thought you were rigging the scores already.
Yeah. That's what I did actually. How did you know? Wow. Yeah,
I
no,
mean, you know.
always. But now with the camels, he has 3 of them, and 3 of them can actually deal with these boys pretty well. But Beastie is most likely gonna need to start thinking about getting some military ships over here to try and stop this type of thing from happening. He does get a dowel, but we can see these things barely take any damage from that. But it does push them away, deter them a little bit. But now the camel archers are ready to rumble, and they're gonna be able to chase down these guys and do some really good damage.
Yeah. Too much damage, but they have the mobility, right? Which makes it that, in theory, the man-at-arms is never really able to even touch them. And as we can see, he just keeps kiting and nothing happens. Which is why Puppy is already making archers, which archers are gonna be able to deal with the camels.
And especially Order of the Dragon archers, those guys are extra feisty. And Beastie now going for the military wing, though. Again, definitely a move that he needed, but PuppyPaw will not be far behind because now he's following suit. He's also floating quite a bit of resources now. He might even be able to stop this blacksmith from coming up instantly. Gets cancelled, and this starts to get quite scary for him. Blacksmith now being speed dropped here at the front. A military wing kicking off as we go along.
And we see Beastie, he already tried to duck once and then ran away and then tried to duck again, being very sneaky. And this is why this map is, personally, I found so fun to watch, because it's just so insane. There's action going on everywhere, and it's just so hard to keep track of everything that's happening when you're playing yourself.
So Beastie with his preservation of knowledge now is going to get these upgrades for a lot cheaper. So this is going to help Beastie significantly going into the later stages of the game. But now with the military wing, he should be able to get his infantry to be a bit stronger. The problem is, this doesn't feel like a game where infantry is the play. It feels like there might be some other things at work here, and apparently this is now the time for the men-at-arms to dive. So they are diving.
Yeah.
They don't care. They're going right under the TC, going to kill absolutely everything they can. Camels going to the back, most likely going to be going straight for those archers, but this is so scary for any player right now. You're playing against a civilization that has the scariest units out there, and the archers at the back, they are getting target fired, but there's so many of them. The camels also taking significant damage. Some of the villagers going down. It does feel a little bit iffy here for Beastie, but it is just for now. A lot of these units going down, and they are quite expensive.
Yeah, this was a bit of a YOLO move from Puppy to just dive as you're aging up. But so yeah, I'm not exactly sure he got the damage that he was hoping for here, because he lost quite a lot of units. But there's a duck there. Okay, but Beastie already has three ships there, so I don't think Puppy's gonna be able to do anything about this pond. So it looks like we're gonna get a split on the pond, and both players are gonna get their own ponds and be able to go from there. So I'm expecting the water action to kind of stop for now, and both of them to start fighting for the relics and for map control.
The relics also fairly split here in the middle, so this is going to be the person with the most units. They're probably going to have the control over here right now. This is not going to be a situation where, oh, you're sneakily going to get one of those out, because they're pretty much dead set in the middle. Everyone's going to know when they're being picked up, and there's going to be time to respond. But PuppyPaw, he keeps getting men-at-arms and crossbows right now, and I don't know what this is going to be like for Beastie in response. He's getting lances instead. So crossbows do pretty well against the above-mentioned units.
Yeah, definitely those OT crossbows are pretty insane. They do so much damage, and they have such big range. They're pretty much always a good unit to make, no matter what's going on.
Now, Beastie may have lost more villagers, but he needs to try and do damage himself, because right now, the villager count is looking quite even, and I've said this many times today because we've had a lot of Order of the Dent games. This is a civilization you don't want to be equal in villages.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure what the fishing ship split is looking like. I would imagine they're pretty close. But yeah, as you said, it's when OTD is equal or ahead in villager, it's usually not a good sign.
We do see that this raiding party at the back is going to cause some havoc, but this is very risky from Beasty. He's going to send all these units inside, and if they do get picked off, this is most of Beasty's army. This is not going to be an easy thing to deal, but it does idle the Order of the Dragon economy, and it idles the army, which is going to allow him to go and pick up some of these relics that I assume his plan was.
Yeah, Beasty actually grabbing 2 relics already, so he's looking quite ahead on this front. But indeed, if he loses his entire army, this would be a bit of a rough trade, I feel.
He's gonna try to get a few villager kills. I was saying as I'm watching him running past that, but he does turn around and get the man after all. Now the guy's going straight back to gold again, or trying to find an easy way out. The boys just running past the shoreline, trying to get a good view before they all die, and the rest of the push coming from the front.
Yeah, looks like Beasty is able to maneuver his way out here, so he's not gonna lose that army, which is pretty good. He got some idle time, he's not losing too much.
Now the problem for Puppy is now, this is now a fight that he has to respond to at the back and the front. So with these guys, he's able to push these at the front back, but only for now. He does pick up one of the predates as well, and this does look like Beasty is going to take 4 relics back home.
Yeah, 4 relics. Beasty is definitely very happy about the way this is going now. Securing 4 relics on this map is pretty huge. And I think now he's looking to be in a pretty good position. Now, Puppy has a pretty strong military numbers on the field right now. He's pretty much doubling the military numbers of Beasty, so there's still gonna be a pretty strong timing for Puppy to try and do damage before that eco lead from the relics materializes.
The problem is, it's not just the eco lead from the relics. There's more to this as well. Beasty, he's getting units that deal with yours pretty well, and this is giving him time to get those. He's getting the eco upgrades. He's getting composite bows, which is a really, really big part of this. But there's no archers just yet. So I'm getting a little bit excited about the composite bows, but nothing of value will be upgraded just yet. But that's the problem. If Puppy does give him time, that story might change. Now, we do see the Imam moving out. He might get picked off here, but Beasty's army sees his, and he might notice that this is a very, very big one he does not want to fight into.
Yeah, definitely, and Puppy knows at this point that he let Beasty get 4 relics, and so he really has to do damage. So he's pushing really hard right now, and the military league is actually looking very, very scary. And even if Beasty is pumping crossbows, that's also a lot of crossbows from Puppy. So ooh, and that was a pretty curious maneuver right there.
He does find a way to get a little bit to the back, but those units are so tanky, they barely take any damage. And we can see this is again just going into PuppyPaw's favor. He's drowning in resources, in units, and Beasty calls it yet again. It does look like this is going to be a really tough matchup for Beasty in general.
Yeah, definitely. I thought for a second you said it does look like it was going to be a quick series. Which I guess you're not going to say anymore.
I refuse to say it. Yeah, actually.
But yeah, no, definitely very, very strong showing. We can see Puppy playing his civilization to perfection and kind of showing why people have been enjoying playing OTD on hybrid so much. That eco is just very strong, and men-at-arms, crossbows, archers, all these units are just really good for OTD. So yeah, very quick game and pretty surgical.
Yeah, I think when we're getting to this point in the game, you have a lot of units that I don't feel like Abbasid has the answers, and that might be the issue that we're facing here. Basically, when we're dealing with Order of the Dragon units, they are stronger, they are better, they just put a lot more pressure on the map that most people cannot handle. And I think that's us right now. From our perspective, and I think a lot of the viewers and a lot of people playing ladder, we're watching these games and you're like, yeah, I also struggle with this. And that's exactly why we wanted to see how the top people deal with this. But Beasty now, he's not dealing with this. He's not dealing with this at all, and we're going to try to find an answer to it. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going into game 2. Scores reversed again. 2-0 for PuppyPaw. I will be getting those switched to the other side pretty soon. I promise.
Have to blame Cow again.
Yeah. No. We should definitely blame Cow for this one. 100%.
Cow's not here, by the way, for those who are wondering.
Yeah, no. It's me
Cow had
observing.
other professional duties to attend to.
We don't have a chicken yet. That's actually true. Pilgrim pointing out we need a little chicken in the chat. Yes. Honestly, that is pretty sad. We need a chicken. Cow and chicken. I can't remember how that theme song goes. I've lost
I
it.
actually don't know what you guys are talking about, but
Did you
it
guys
sounds
not
kinda
have
fun.
cartoons in Belgium?
No, we don't even have television, you know.
You don't even have television? Why not?
No.
Was
But
it
we had
too
cartoons, but I
modern?
guess no. But we had cartoons, but I guess probably just a different culture, right?
Yeah,
But,
I guess
it
so.
just depends what country you're from.
Oh, cactus.
You know, being from the
trees.
French-speaking part, I had more of the French cartoons.
So when you're doing French cartoons, do they just translate all the good cartoons into French, like Powerpuff Girls and Dexter's Laboratory, or do you not know those either?
I know those, but I think those were like probably just slightly after my time. I'm not too sure. I didn't really watch that too much, to be honest, and I didn't watch too much cartoons.
Okay, that's why you're
In
such a
general.
well-balanced adult man. Very nice.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Now, we did see Beastie. Before we get carried away here, guys, we're of course getting all excited about preservation of knowledge, culturing, yes. Beastie on Abbasid, he is going for a barracks. Now, I assume this is just because we're going to be fighting some professional scouts, and he doesn't like scouts that are that professional. Scouts are meant to be scouting. They're not supposed to be making it a career. So, with this barracks, he's going to be able to shut down quite a few of these. Now, he's also doing the nice thing about denying the deer. And oh dear, is that not a vision itself?
Yeah, definitely, and we can see Beastie going professional scout himself. So seems like we're not getting a 3TC play this time, which is a bit surprising. I would expect you would have tried it again.
Honestly, I feel like the 3TC play was maybe where it's at. And he's just,
Yeah.
he doesn't want to reveal how OP it is. So when we get to the LAN in Germany, he's going to keep it a secret. And instantly PuppyPaw sees the spearman and starts an archery range. Honestly, Order of the Dragon archers are giving me a little bit of a inspiration right now. I'm feeling Order of the Dragon for my next civilization.
I mean, you're a bit of a nature enjoyer, so Order Dragon is kind of the next step.
Mm-hmm. And a little
Are
bit
you
of a
dented
burger.
enough? I think you're dented enough. You
I'm definitely
deserve-
dented enough. Order of the Dent. Oh my goodness. I would be the best dent in all of the dents to get Order of the Dented to be great again. Now, these scouts, I love this. He split them apart to pull him away, and Beastie's spear is just following this man religiously. He's like, I've seen you, and I will follow you home. The scout pulling him all the way to China, and next scout is on his meal list. Beastie, though, he's stealing some deer himself.
Oh yeah, he's snacking on some of Puppy's deer. I mean, this is a lot of people are molding about the Pro Scout meta, and it's definitely a bit repetitive considering how many civs actually doing it. But I think it's probably one of the better metas we've had in the sense that it's still pretty active. You know, it forces both players to play to make units in feudal, get out on the map, and I think it really shows like gives players a way to show off their APM and their map awareness, you know, because you do need to be active everywhere, and in order to get your own scouts, deny the other ones, you have units left, units right, you know, and you have to be able to answer correctly to everything. And if you're just better than your opponent, you will be able to get an advantage.
And it feels like it is definitely rewarding that. People are just the person with the best APM, the person with the best choices here. They do get that huge advantage. And we now see the counter units being made left and right. Beastie focusing a little bit more onto the horsemen here to try and get that little bit of control. But now, PuppyPaw he's gotten a few deer. He hasn't seemed to be making any plays for the rest of them over here, but Beastie has been quite active. The problem is he's got 4 archers, and I know 4 is not a big number, but that's a big number for Order of the Dent. And those are some pretty big pickups if he manages to pick those off. But again, PuppyPaw, it keeps going his way, and it feels like Beastie is just not able to consistently outperform Puppy in fights.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think there's a reason why pros were enjoying playing OTD so much lately, because that quick eco they get from the chapel and from the gilded villagers really allows them to outproduce a lot of civilizations in the early game and allow them to fight for that map control and fight for those years. And right now those military numbers are looking pretty scary for PuppyPaw.
I feel like every single time Beastie takes a fight here, Puppy is just ready. Puppy is ready to maneuver, and Puppy is doing an amazing job at keeping the control. Beastie is trying to let that preservation of knowledge do the work and get all the free upgrades, the cheap upgrades on his side, but it's a lot. There's a lot to be desired here as well. He's picked up quite a bit of deer. The Abbasid is snacking away at the deer, which hopefully is halal, but they are just taking them from the ground. It doesn't seem that sanitary in general.
Yeah, and I think right now Puppy's like military superiority should allow him to steal most of the deer left on the map, which are supposed to belong to Beastie. So that should give in theory a pretty good edge. But as we say, that Beastie is looking to catch this army off guard, and this is looking like a pretty good little skirmish for Beastie.
Oh, definitely. And I think the reason he took this fight so well as well is because of the fact that Puppy is going castle now. Beastie, same idea behind all of this, but he did make a few more units before committing to this. And Puppy may have just stopped producing a little bit too early. And now he's going to be able to stop a few deer from getting yoinked. Any yoinkers in the chat? Not today.
Yeah, there's not going to be any yoinkers.
This guy is giving up his yoink, putting it on the ground. The next yoinker is on the list, but he might make it back home. Yeah, the next guy might make it back home. Lucky guy.
Yeah, looks like Puppy is only going to manage to bring one scout, one deer back. So Beastie has to be pretty happy about what just happened in the last minute or so. But indeed, now Puppy is Castle Age, and Beastie is also Castle, but he's Abbasid, and he's gonna need to wait quite a bit more until that actually materializes.
Yeah, Military Wing still being a minute away, it gives Puppy the time to get the upgrades he needs. It gives Puppy the time to get the units in his base that he needs. So this is definitely something he's comfortable with doing. Beastie, on the other hand, he is stacking up quite a bit of resources. Though I would not be surprised if we're going to be seeing a lot of units queued up the moment he hits castle. And I know he's been going for the Lancers. They haven't been trading that well, but from the last few games, I'm expecting to see a lot of Lancers in that queue.
Yeah, definitely. Lancers have to be the play. I mean, it's kind of like the meta we're in, right? People are using map control to get the deer, and then as soon as you kind of finish the mini game for the deer, you have to start the relic mini game. And yeah, Lancers are obviously always really good at making sure you can get map control and keeping your predator safe.
And we have horsemen at the back of the base trying to cause Beastie a little bit of worry, and honestly, they're doing a pretty good job at that. This is a very worried Abbasid for its resources, because we have to think about what's next for Beastie. This gold, he's still got a little bit of life in him, but he needs to think about, how am I going to get enough units to secure this one as well? He's got horses on the other side as well, but the men-at-arms now, these are of the variety of the scary. And scary men-at-arms, even while not upgraded, they are going to keep being scary when they start running towards the base. And there are a handful of them in this pack as well. Beastie now getting a few crossbows instantly, which, honestly, pretty good choice here. And especially considering that he's going to be dealing with a lot of armored units. The problem is just the archers, they are looking like they want a few victims here. And Beastie forces drop off on the gold, probably hoping to get just enough to make more units.
Yeah, Puppy's been really liking that composition of man-at-arm and archer, or man-at-arm and crossbow. And indeed, I mean, both of those units for TD have a special upgrade, so they're not your usual man-at-arm archer. These are just much better.
Now, this does cause a little bit of idle time, but it feels like the Order of the Dragon doesn't really mind the idle time. There's a lot of units on the map already. The villagers, they're extra effective, and it's so easy to deny them, because there's just one gilded man-at-arms ready to fight off 3 horsemen.
Yeah, I think he would probably win that fight. But yeah, so far only 1 relic picked up. Does Beasty? Yeah, Beasty has 1 prelate on the field, another one. I mean, prelate. How are they called for Abbasid? Actually, I don't even know.
They're imams.
Imams. Oh yeah, obviously. So yeah, 2 imams on the field, so he should be able. The military numbers are still pretty good for Puppy, but Beasty has a couple knights, so those are obviously worth more than your regular units. And Beasty might be able to find a surround here. I'm not sure. He looks like he's not going for it, but
Oh, instead of going for a surround, he goes for the reinforcements. Because when you're going for the reinforcements, it just feels like you are able to cut off things before they get there, which means the army is going to be smaller. But right now, this is looking like
a
great
really good
surround.
engagement for Beasty.
Gets the archers. These archers are killing everything in their sides as well. Beasty now going for quite a bit of archers here. Should be able to even do a little bit of damage to these men-at-arms. They do very little, but just enough to fight these off. The thing is, the army is still in favor here of PuppyPaw. And with this...
PuppyPaw was able to snipe the crossbows pretty quick, which meant that Beasty really didn't have that that good of an answer to the men-at-arms, and so in the end the engage is not looking too bad for PuppyPaw. But there's quite a bit of lancers now on the field, and actually now it's PuppyPaw that doesn't really have an answer to lancers.
Beasty is shutting down yet another relic, which is going to be so important for him as this game goes on, because the gold is going to be a big question mark. Now, with Preservation of Knowledge, those upgrades are a little bit cheaper, and he's still investing into archers. He says, crossbows might not be the play here for me, I'm just going to get a ton of archers. And this comes back down to that idea of, yes, archers don't counter men-at-arms, but enough archers will eventually do quite a bit of damage. Especially when you get your +2, when you have your composite bows that are about to kick in, this should be a much different fight going on in the future.
Yeah, definitely. It still looks. I'm still a bit surprised to see him going for archers when Puppy's showing so many men-at-arms. But yeah, those composite bow archers are not your typical archers, right? So they should be able to do okay damage against it.
The issue with getting a mass arch combo is just the fact that PuppyPaw also has that unique upgrade for his archers. Those archers do get range defense as well. So the men-at-arms, while they are already not countered by these archers, it's going to get a lot harder as time goes on to actually take care of them. The horsemen now, this has been pretty good from Beasty, being able to keep control of this. But honestly, if Beasty wants to take a fight, he needs to take it close to his base, and he needs to take it while the army is split. And it feels like this might not be the time.
Yeah, the military numbers are again starting to look scary for PuppyPaw. He's at 55, while Beasty is only on 34 right now, and Puppy is starting to make mangonels, which hopefully are going to be able to deal with the archers.
And Beasty might be able to get a very solid mangonel shot on the back line there, but with the men-at-arms at the front line, they will most likely just be able to run right past. So Puppy, we can see the income per minute, and it's telling us the story of a man who doesn't mind waiting for the late game. Beasty now not going for that eco wing. This means that these farms were so expensive, normal price, and it's not the ideal situation for Abbasid to be in.
Yeah, definitely, and yeah, as you said, he does have 10 crossbows, but that's 16 gilded men-at-arms right there, and so those are worth ×2, so that's 32 men-at-arms, and 24 archers and 10 crossbows is still feels a bit lackluster against so many men-at-arms.
Now finally, it does look like this one sacred site will be decapped, and Beastyqt getting a little bit of extra gold from there as well, trying to extend as much as he can with these limited resources on the map. That's what the map was created for, to make sure that people are consistently attacking, that they're consistently fighting, and there's no let me sit in my base and camp for 40 minutes. And I say this as I'm touching wood because I realize I might jinx it and we might be sitting here for 40 minutes. But this is giving him the information that he needs. He realizes, hey, this is a second TC and I am behind.
Yeah, and as we can see, he's sending villagers to the stone right away. So it looks like Beastyqt is going to answer by probably making his own TC, or maybe it's gonna be a keep. But yeah, and the problem on this map, by the way, is that you only have a tiny little stone in your base, and the rest of the stone is in the middle of the map. And that means that it's much harder to drop a couple keeps at home to defend when you're behind on military, and it gives even more value to having the control of the middle. And so right now, Puppy, I think is pretty happy with how this game is turning out. I'm expecting him to start reinforcing those sacred sites and maybe even play for a sacred site win, I'm not sure.
Beastyqt has a difficult choice to make here, because you want to go for the second TC, of course, but at this point you don't know how long the Order of the Dragon has been on their second TC. You don't know how far ahead they are. So, in Beastie's head, what do you decide? Do you go for a second or a third? Do you try to let the sacred site timer go and then eventually go and take this fight? The problem is Beastyqt has invested quite a lot into archers. He's getting a lot of crossbows as well, but the front line is limited. So once these units get on top of him, I feel like this is going to be a really tough time for Beastyqt. With the amount he has on stone though, I'm expecting this to be a keep drop instead. And I feel like this might be the safer option, even though it's not safe. It's just the option you have when you don't know how far ahead your opponent is and you need to make a very aggressive decapping.
Yeah, I'm still not sure what he's going to go for. Indeed, he's gonna be falling behind right now every minute, right? The village account is starting to look pretty close, and as we've said many times against OTGs, it's never a good sign. So yeah, it feels like Beastyqt kinda is going to need to make something happen pretty soon.
See Marine Lord's in the chat as well. Marine Lord, if you were in this tournament, you could have had Abbasid as your final pick. And it could have been you against PuppyPaw in this tournament. Now,
you could have been playing Abbasid.
Yeah, if someone else finally gets the opportunity of a lifetime here. Anything else though, we're going to be seeing a connection, hopefully for Beastyqt on the back line here, but PuppyPaw's movement is immaculate. And this is the problem with the front line, as we can see, they are just not existing. So these archers taking a lot of damage here at the back, but it feels like Beastyqt's army is just not going to be able to handle any of this. It looks like those mangonels getting some decent shots at the back, but again, no front line to actually deal with these units, and it feels like Order of the Dragon right now is just making this look so simple. And remember,
those military numbers from PuppyPaw did not drop at all during this fight. It was a pretty clean wipe, and I think Beastyqt is probably not too happy. Now he did manage to decap the site there, so at least there's no sacred site win possibility. But yeah, that's an army that he just can't fight. That was a triple his army size, so he just calls it. And this is a 3-0, the second 3-0 that Beastyqt has faced today already.
Yeah, Beastyqt.
We're not gonna say it this time, though.
No, we are not saying it this time whatsoever. This is looking like Beastyqt is giving it a little bit of a different push than he did in the previous games, and it just has not paid off. The trades have not done what they needed to, and Beastyqt right now is on the back foot. I don't know if Beastyqt has the opportunity to come back from this. I'm going to touch wood yet again because I just did it. And I'm really, really scared we get a situation where I jinx it and we're going to go and have a 4-3 reverse sweep. Because that's exactly what Beastyqt did the previous game, and we don't expect anything less from the man.
Yeah, definitely.
Ooh, he's a spicy
and
one.
Beastyqt kind of gave two very different looks, right? We saw him try a 3TC. That really didn't work out. And then we saw him try and mirror the Pro Scout and go Pro Scout himself. That definitely looked better, but in the end, still wasn't enough. It looks like the OOTD eco is just too strong.
Yeah, OOTD eco definitely makes a difference, especially when you can easily transition into that second TC. But guys, me and very lazy Gigi dog, she's very tired, as you can see the blurred dog in the background. We are heading over to Holy Island, and Holy Island, this is going to be a civilization matchup, which I actually don't know if it is going to be a free Mr. Puppy.
Yeah, I mean, Abbasid is definitely one of the usual suspects on this map, right? We haven't seen it played too much in. I'm looking at PuppyPaw's base right now, and I don't see any villager going for the water right now, so I'm a bit confused about what's happening, unless I'm blind.
No, you are not blind, but what's happening is PuppyPaw says he doesn't need the water to win this game. He's going to give Beastie the water, actually. He says, you take this, I'm gonna go for land, I'll see you in castle with my burger in your face. So PuppyPaw, very confident in this. Beastie cancels his second dock though. Beastie cancels his second dock the moment he sees that Puppy isn't going for water himself. He cancels that second dock. He realizes this might be a little bit greedy. So basically, the man is going to go, and I wonder if there's going to be an opportunity here for Beastie to actually push this. So the thing is, we've seen a lot of military wing, right? When we get to water. Is this what we're going to be seeing from Beastie here? Is PuppyPaw just going to go for a super fast castle and try to overwhelm Beastie like he has in the last few games? I mean, it's a pretty stable choice.
Don't know. It feels like fast castle tried to do like some kind of like burger all-in. It feels like it would be too slow. Like I think if you give up water for that long, I don't think that is supposed to work. So in my head, I don't think Puppy is going to go castle. I think he has in mind more of a quick feudal into quick aggression. I'm still very confused about what's happening right now, because it feels to me like if Puppy just plays it the standard way, you know, fishing into feudal, into a long fight on water, I think he should be favored, but it looks like he just has a better idea.
His big idea is proxy dock, which, I mean, he's about to hit feudal. Beastie, he needs 1 minute 45 to get there. This is a very long wait time, especially when playing against Order of the Dragon, who's already there. Now, there's going to be an Order of the Dragon ship in your base, taking care of all your fishing ships at the same time. So these guys, we can see Beastie instantly going on the shoreline fish to try and get a little bit of food, but he does have the opportunity to hide most of his fishing ships away into the docks, and he also didn't go too greedy. We can see with the amount of fishing ships he has, he only got 3 before calling it and pulling them back from wood and going for his own age up.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, this is going to be probably a bit of a scary ult for Beastie right now, but in 1 minute he's going to have the military popping out. And as we saw last game, the last time he played on this map, he has the ability to make a ram very quick and get rid of this dock. So if he can manage to not lose control of the water until then, to me this is looking like it would be pretty easy to clean up. But let's see what Puppy decides to do.
Puppy follows this up with a little bit of aggression behind it as well. And we see with the amount of villages that he has here on wood, he's sticking to water. A very big proxy dock water play that definitely, I mean, I was not on my bingo card for today.
No. Yeah, for sure. I was definitely not expecting this. But it looks like Puppy must have played this matchup before, because that looked very decisive. That's not the kind of build that you just kind of improvise, right?
Now, with the military wing, he does have a little bit of land presence, and he has to make a decision. Do I go and be aggressive, or am I gonna go and get rid of the dock? And the choice is the dock. Now, him getting that bit of stone over here, I don't know if this is just gonna be a second TC. It feels like it could be. Or, oh, yes.
No, this is arrow slits for the dock, but
Oh, you're
But again,
right.
he's gonna have to deal with the ram very soon. I don't know if that air threat is gonna have enough time to even get researched, but we'll see. He's also dropping a rack, so it looks like he's probably gonna make men-at-arms, I'm guessing. Can't have a go wrong with men-at-arms. And Beastie is actually looking to drop a dock on Puppy's side.
Now, this is a very peculiar situation to be in. Puppy has invested quite a bit onto the water here. I mean, so has Beastie, right? We're in that weird situation now where Beastie is like, okay, what do I do here? Do I commit to this? What do I attack here? Now, instantly the demolition ship going down, it does make it a little bit harder. But now, just like that, the ram is going to provide that little bit of pressure that he was missing. And double dock gets placed in the middle.
Yeah, and then that's gonna what we said now. Puppy is most likely going to lose that dock. And yeah, Beastie still has a bunch of docks on water, so I don't know how Puppy is going to keep making ships unless he can defend there. But I don't think the scout can defend the entire bush by itself. But maybe I'm wrong.
The ram is already half HP, and that dock is not. It's just gone over past the half mark, and you see there's a villager there repairing it. It actually looks like the dock might live.
Yeah, it actually looks like that works. I gotta say, I have no idea that was that's supposed to work. That's actually pretty crazy.
I feel like Beastie doesn't know what to do with the scenario either. He's gonna lose a villager here, not finish that dock.
I don't think Beastie has played Abbasid on this map in quite a while. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe they but this map has not even been in tournament for quite a long time, I think. So yeah, this is probably a brand new territory.
The problem is now there's nothing that deals with this man-at-arm. The man-at-arm, there's a military wing, but the military wing is barely touching him. We can see this needs one more hit with a hammer, and that's exactly what he'll get. But now you are in such an awful position to actually try and push and make a comeback here, because you're already losing your military advantage that you have here, and the ships are stacked here from PuppyPaw. We see 4 Springald ships now, and that is definitely not something anyone signed up to face.
Yeah, definitely. And PuppyPaw is finally dropping a dock on his side of the map. So yeah, this is looking pretty good right now for PuppyPaw. It looks like he's in control of this game right now. He just has to get rid of the. There's like 3 docks left for Beastie, I think. And if he can manage to wipe this, he should be looking pretty good.
It does feel like there's a lot of wood investment coming into fixing this dock here. But even if he was investing a lot of wood, there's the boosted wood. You're perfectly okay sitting in your chapel range, living your best life up here. Now the Springald ships, they are going to be able to push this down, and they will try to get a little bit of pressure, but they have to be careful. Beastie has to do everything right to survive and make no mistakes.
Yeah, Beastie is still dropping docks. I mean, you know, this is the good part of Abbasid on this map. You get docks at a half price. So he can afford to make just a lot of them, and that makes it really hard for Puppy to keep track of everything that's happening on the entire side of the map, right? This is a very, very big water to fight over, and it's hard to make sure that there's nothing happening nowhere. And Beastie is equalizing the number of ships on the water, so it looks like in the end Beastie is kind of stabilizing a bit, I think. And however, as I say that, I'm looking at the eco count and I see that eco count is equal, and again, that's not too good of a sign.
Now, with this fight on the water, we do see Beastie still being outnumbered, and the problem is this is happening behind this. It feels like Order of the Dragon just didn't have an answer here, and he calls it. PuppyPaw takes him down 4-0.
Damn, that was a very commanding series from PuppyPaw. Very impressive.
Yeah, PuppyPaw made this look super, super easy. Apparently, PuppyPaw, on Order of the Dent, just being the best one-trick pony out there. Now, PuppyPaw was one of the highest seeds in this tournament, and Order of the Dent was a civilization that was left quite late. And I think people probably slept on it quite a bit. But yeah, Puppy?
Yeah, I think you know, when we talked about it, we talked about the draft and the picks, and when we saw PuppyPaw being left with OTD, I think everyone thought that there was probably pretty good value for him, considering he's quite a good player, and OTD looks to be pretty strong right now. And yeah, he's showing that he knows what to do.
Yeah, in PuppyPaw, guys, we actually have our special guest, PuppyPaw, the 4-0 king. We have him right here. So, Puppy, does this... Wait, let me just transition out. Does this mean that Order of the Dragon is broken and it needs a nerf? Or where do you land on this?
OTD is actually, yeah, they're a lot better than I thought they were, maybe like 2 months ago, but I wouldn't go as far as to say they need a nerf.
A lot of people were expecting some other players to make it through quite far and, you know, defeat some pretty high-ranked players. Were you surprised by anyone dropping out early?
Well, I always... I'm surprised when Wham loses. I know Beastyqt beat him 3-1, but I always feel like he can do well, but Demo as well lost to Baltoon pretty early, but no, I think everyone has a good chance of winning.
Okay. Now, for a lot of people were wondering about the Killjardy, especially getting HRE on this map pool being a little bit of an advantage, but your brother, he cooked them up. What would you say was your biggest, what was your worst matchup as Order of the Dragon?
Yeah, I have to say Vortex with English. I was very confused of how to deal with English, like just rushing me, because I feel like the first game against him, like my units just felt so bad in a direct engagement, like at least in Feudal Age. And I was like panicking like every single game because I was just trying to avoid fighting him, so I would build like a TC to just buy myself time, or like in the prayer game I was like running around consistently trying to avoid him and go up to castle. Yeah, I got pretty lucky with the Bridger spawn, with the stone being in the TC range, and I got a lot of sheep as well, so yeah, that series could have went his way for sure.
Puppy, we were watching that Vortex game, and I thought if there's one person who can take you down, it's probably Vortex on an English, because English has been considered as one of the weakest civilizations, but he definitely made it look like a very viable choice. Were you surprised by any specific civilization, and do you think we might see a little bit more of it, or do you think our top picks are still our top picks?
I think Japan is like kind of good maybe at the moment, like and B almost won a few games versus me. Like the series was 3-1, but it was very, very close, I think. Yeah, as far as Vortex on English, he's very good with that civ. I remember him practicing, well, he's playing English on Mountain Crewing like a lot. So yeah, he destroyed me on that map.
And what do you think of the balance in general now that you've played this? Because I know obviously we gave the lowest seeds the highest value picks. So you guys were left with what was left. Do you think the balance is in a pretty good spot right now, or are there some feelings behind it?
I don't think balance isn't like the best spot, honestly, but I think that's probably due to like pure scouts, like civs like Abbasid are just, I mean, they can pure scout, but it's kind of worse for them, and they double TC is just not very good, and they struggle to keep up in like the mid game and the early game a little bit. But I mean, like hybrid's gotten a little better, I think, so that's nice. Yeah.
So now going into the rest of 2025, are we going to see more of PuppyPaw in finals of ST tournaments? Are you going
I hope so. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I got to. I didn't do so well the last one, so I got to figure out how I can play better in these tournaments for sure.
I think one thing that I learned from Beastyqt is the fact that when you go to a live event or when you go to any big event, it just gives you that exposure and it gets better over time, like even your consistency in your play. But even then, even when you usually get to the top 2, it's so easy to just drop out to having one bad day of play. So, yeah, I mean, people really rooted for you guys. I remember seeing some Discord channels saying like, oh, wham, PuppyPaw, they're going to be taking this one. So, yeah, I think the whole community is excited about you guys. And any big plans for streaming more? Or are you a professional gamer before streamer for most of these?
Honestly, I don't know what I'm gonna do as far as like streaming or getting a job or anything like that. I'm still figuring it out, but I'm excited for the 3 tournaments we have coming up. That's what I'm looking forward to.
All right.
Especially if I make it to the LAN, that will be very cool as well. So yeah, I'm gonna focus on the tournaments, and I'll probably stream maybe a few times. I don't know. I can't promise that. I'm not the best with keeping a streaming schedule, but we'll see.
Yeah, consistency is quite hard, especially in that domain. Yeah, but yeah, we're hoping to see you at the undisclosed LAN event happening in July that we will drop details on in 3 weeks at the Garrison, guys. So if you want to see those, we'll be announcing them all in 3 weeks, so be ready. Okay, Poppy, well, thank you very much for your time, good sir. Congratulations on your one-trick pony win. I know this was like a little bit of a KW tournament that we were running, but it was lovely to have you, and yeah, good job.
Yeah, thank you for hosting it. It was fun.